covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
He's not being held accountable at all. It's just like a slap on the wrist. We aren't getting justice at all.
An Oroville family reacts to a ruling they say amounts to a slap on the wrist for an accused teenage killer.
Not so fast. Community members and agricultural leaders today called on the Tehama County Board of Supervisors to hold off on an emergency ordinance addressing the sinking land problem.
Also in Tehama County, the sheriff is responding today to accusations flying between members of the Board of Supervisors regarding the investigation into criminal allegations against them. We're hearing from Tehama County Sheriff Dave Kane on where things stand with that investigation surrounding the Board of Supervisors.
Yesterday, we told you that 4 members of the board issued a joint press release making accusations against board member Patty Nolan. It came amidst a sheriff's office criminal investigation into the March 25th call to the Red Bluff Police Department, reporting that Supervisor Nolan was possibly driving under the influence of alcohol. Police eventually pulled Nolan over, but reported she had no measurable amount of alcohol in her system. The joint statement from Nolan's fellow board members claimed she was not being truthful with the media and on social media. Today, Sheriff Kane addressed the board members' joint statement.
We are conducting more interviews. We'll probably be conducting follow-up interviews. We are aware of the Board of Supervisors press release that came out yesterday. And what we want to do is talk about instead of one side or the other, we want to paint the full picture and put every puzzle piece where it belongs. So, you know, the board press release was very self-serving. It did not outline the totality of what has occurred here. It is kind of just highlighted one aspect of what's occurred. And we're confident that when all the information and evidence comes out in this investigation, it will raise questions about what was actually put out in that press release.
Kane noted that the investigation is very fluid and there's no timeline on when it will conclude. Action News Now tried to speak with Patty Nolan at today's meeting regarding the investigation, and she told our reporter that she stands by her last statement she released to us. We have that statement and all of the ones mentioned on our website. Now a live look over Oroville shows those clear blue skies on this hot, gosh, what is it, Alan? Tuesday?
It is Tuesday.
Is that it?
we're only 2 days in, Haley, and Chief Meteorologist Howie Gordon is tracking the conditions for us. How is it looking today? Did we hit 90 today?
We hit 90. We actually a couple spots hit 100. I think right now, currently in Red Bluff, we're at 100. Redding's been jumping back and forth between 99 and 100. But Chico, a little cooler at 93, as well as Willow's about 92 degrees. But part of the valley did hit triple digits once again. If you want some comfort, I've been talking about it. Alturas at 76 right now. That's about 4,500 feet up. You go down to just 2,000 feet, still Weaverville at 92 degrees. All right, our winds. We've been a little breezy in Redding and Red Bluff with some gusts from 20 to 25 miles per hour. We don't want winds when we are getting as dry as we can be, and that dry as can be is continuing to happen because look at these moisture levels, very much on the low and even the dangerous side. Here's a look at what we have for tomorrow. Very hot. I don't like those winds at 30 miles per hour. And again, low relative humidities, but we're going to keep our fire potential at moderate because we are still drying out that vegetation, unfortunately. But we'll talk more about our heat and our fire weather potential danger in just a little bit.
Thanks, Howie. The land is sinking in Tehama County, but today the Board of Supervisors decided to table a proposed emergency ordinance to address the problem until next year. The Tehama County Groundwater Sustainability Agency says it's happening from the mid to southwestern part of the county across Red Bluff, Corning, and Antelope. The land subsidence problem in Tehama County is due to groundwater levels declining. The proposed emergency ordinance to address the problem would place more regulations on permitting for agricultural wells, not for residential, but community members and ag leaders say fast-tracking the ordinance is a bad idea. The Sustainable Groundwater Management Act, which is a roadmap that farmers and ranchers follow to help with balancing the amount of water pumped and replenished every year, it's still relatively new and the results are not yet complete.
Tehama County Farm Bureau, which represents Tehama County farmers and ranchers, has been working really hard with our flood control board to conform with Sigma. And so then to see this in the news and on TV without any forewarning or discussions among the folks that have been working really hard to do this was, as Shanna said, very alarming.
So at the meeting, Supervisor Rob Burrows made a motion to table this until next February to allow time to get more data from the current water cycle, and that motion was approved 4-1.
The family of a Norville murder victim speaking out after a Butte County judge ruled that the suspect will be tried as a juvenile, not an adult. Butte County DA Mike Ramsey says the suspect was 17 at the time he shot and killed Ronnie Frazier, and he's 19 now. We told you this yesterday. Ramsey says Frazier was leaving his dad's home on foot on May 30th back in 2023 when he was fatally shot. He says the DA's office wanted to try the suspect as an adult because of prior convictions. And tonight, we're hearing from Frazier's family, and they're saying that they wanted that too.
He'd already been tried in the juvenile system on another very serious case in which he and some other juveniles severely beat a homeless man. And he was still on probation for that case. He was still under the guise of the probation department.
He should have got, like at least 10 years or so. I worked pretty hard to raise that kid. And, it only takes a second to take it away. And it really threw my life off a lot. I mean, I moved completely out of the town because I got to drive by where my son got shot every day, and that really wears on somebody.
In making his ruling to try the suspect as a juvenile, the judge noted that he experienced significant prior trauma, he being the suspect, that is, a lack of stability at home, and that he used drugs as a coping mechanism. The suspect will be back in juvenile court June 25th.
A Tehama County man will spend 5 years, 4 months in prison following a deadly crash on Highway 99 in Vina last October. Andre Tucker killed Ruth Kibbe and her unborn child, and a second motorist was also injured. The Tehama County District Attorney's Office argued that Tucker's conduct and lack of remorse required the maximum term, and the judge agreed. Tucker earlier pled guilty to vehicular manslaughter with gross negligence, saying at the time he was angry at being detoured and that he was looking at his cell phone when he crashed. A trial date has been set in the Thomas Moser child sexual assault case in Shasta County. The DA says Moser pled not guilty this morning to 6 felony counts involving sex with a child 10 years old or younger. He'll be back in court August 4th. The jury trial is scheduled to begin September 9th at 9 a.m.
We have new details about Chico Unified's head girls volleyball coach, Chaz Konopka, and the investigation launched against him. We told you back in March when several players spoke to board trustees and filed a formal complaint calling the coach mean and out of line. Well, yesterday we reported that according to Chico High Athletic Director Jason Alvister, Konopka was cleared of the charges. But this isn't exactly the case. I spoke to Alvister today, and he clarified that what he meant to say was that Konopka was cleared to coach. A representative for the district also told me that the investigation had concluded but is now being appealed, saying in part, "We can confirm that through the comprehensive investigation, Chico Unified has identified areas within our school athletics programs to be improved, including training for coaches and clarification of the complaint process." So to be clear, that investigation is still going right now. The 2025-26 athletic staff will have extra training and coaching support focused on best practices for interacting with student athletes. The full statement from the district is on our Action News Now homepage. If you ever need to get around town with an e-bike or scooter, well, on this Traffic Tuesday, we show you how to do it safely.
But first, new at 6, when you can drive over the new $116 million Butte City Bridge. That's straight ahead.